and ladies, and welcome to a Cornish First Look video for Rosewater. This is a point-and-click adventure game. I have had my eye on this game for some time now, and the developers were kind enough to send a copy of it to me. I'm going to do a slightly longer Cornish First Look, and then decide if we should turn this into a series or not at the end, seeing how people react to it and the like. So, first of all, we should look at the credits. It is. Let me see. It is developed by Grunderslav Games and published by Application Systems Heidelberg. So we're going to have a quick look at the settings. Standard setup, languages, German or English, dynamic shadowing, accessibility options. Let's have a look at that. Auto advanced text. I'm going to turn that off because I like having the auto advanced text done myself, to be honest. Extended timers, which we'll probably have turned on because obviously having to read it takes slower time. Autosave alerts, daily update alerts, text backdrop, handwritten fonts, highlight contrast, high contrast inventory highlights, and a vertical radial menu. Okay. So a nice selection of options, full screen, subtitles on, that kind of thing. So not too bad. You have the settings here, fairly straightforward. To talk, multiple actions available, look at, exit screen, mouse cursor to screen, yeah. So objects is O, diary, inventory, escape, space, pause game. So standard sort of setup. Hopefully we have this available when we play the game. But let's dive in, shall we? This game is set in the Wild West.
Boarded the 743 from Pierre-Lorraine for Rosewater, Western Vespuccia. No baggage to speak of, in the literal or metaphorical sense. Just a little hope. And that doesn't take up much space. Much has been said about the Western frontier. The perilous wilderness, the lawless towns, and the tough, hardened folk who make their way out there. Usually to get away from something worse. I suppose I'm about to become one of them myself. There's just one thing Rosewater's got that no place else has. An opportunity with my name on it. The thoughts in my head are running together like the landscape outside the window. Excitement and trepidation and boredom mixing like the scrub and rocks and soil into one long blur. One thing I know, I am ready for a change of scene.
Western Vespuccia, the town of Rosewater, 1850.
Huh. Quiet.
Howdy, ma'am. Allow me to extend the warmest of welcomes on behalf of the town of Rosewater and its inhabitants. Folks call me Jem, and who do I have the honor of greeting?
Harley Leger.
Delighted to make your acquaintance. Might I assist you with your luggage? That is, if you've got any.
I don't.
Ah, right. Well, what brings you to our fair town, Mrs. Leger?
I'm here for a job. Line is passing through. That's none of your business. Before I should go any further, I should say that this game does have branching story paths and choices, with your choices having consequences. The developers reckon that there's about basically there are multiple playthroughs. Each playthrough should take about 15 hours to do, depending what story paths and what choices you take. I'm here for a job. Let's just lie and say I'm passing through.
Miss. And I'm just passing through.
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's story, if they come here at all. Things keep going this way, and I'll be out of a job soon.
Actually, I'm looking for work here myself. What job? Annoying people?
And what job is that? Official town pain in the neck?
Jeez, lady, did a snake bite you where the sun don't shine? I'm the town greeter. Figured that much was obvious.
Uh-huh. Look, I have an appointment to keep, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, sure. Don't stick around on my account. But a small caution. Rosewater ain't always such a sleepy little town.
Hey!
Say, I've just remembered another engagement.
This how you welcome new arrivals? I have a mind to give you a thrashing. All right, enough of that. Look, I was no choir girl.
But I never got caught, but I never cried as much as you, but I was never quite so dumb. Yeah, I mean, like, pickpocketing out on the main street is stupid, to be honest. Like, there's no one around. Let's go with that one.
But I at least had some brains. Word of advice, kid. Don't pick your mark in broad daylight. Especially not at a lawman's doorstep. Go on, beat it. Or I really will give you something to cry about.
I like her.
Now, where in the ether is that damn publisher's office?
Okay, so let's have a look. So we have our diary. Crowns 20. Warded lock, no key for me, turn the hook freely. Padlocks, wiggle the key to start the fun, then take the snake for a long, long run. Deadbolt, tense the key and choose the snake. Look around as it and give it a shake. Timber locks, just the key, stay still, the diamond, signs, turn up just once, then down 3 times, okay. Aboard the WV Express. Boarded at 7:43 from Paris, Lorraine, Rosewater, West Vespuccia. No baggage to speak of in the literal or metaphorical sense. I don't think worth weighting myself down with. Just a little hope, and that doesn't take up much space. Okay, so that's basically what we've already said in the intro. But basically, it's just a blow by blow. Okay, does this fruit of Rosewater? People somewhere rotted, grasping, and two-faced. They've passed no 10 minutes in this town already. This feels like home. A couple of creatures try to take advantage of the deserted thoroughfare to waylay and fleece new arrivals. Rascal by the name of James, self-styled town greeter. Okay. I won't read all of this, so you can just have a look at this. Okay. We've got 20 crowns.
October 25th, 1850. Dear Miss Leger, thank you for submitting your sample. Your writing shows real potential. I'd like to extend an invitation to meet with me at the offices of the Rosewater Post and discuss the possibility of an extended commission. How soon can you arrive in town? I await your reply and look forward to making your acquaintance. Yours, Joan Gallagher.
Okay.
End of the line. Until they connected up from the coast, anyway.
So you can't talk to civilians. And it looks like if we are in America, the East and Western railways haven't been joined yet. It's 1850. I'm just trying to remember when the American Civil War is going on. I can't remember.
So they do have the law here, in theory at least.
Eat haze. Let's go and ask the sheriff.
Howdy, stranger. Fresh off the train?
Yes, sir.
Come on in then. Let's have a chat. I'm Sheriff Gamble.
Harley Leger.
Pleasure. Just passing through, or...?
I'm here about a job.
Well now, that's refreshing. Few come to Rosewater these days with the intent of staying long. How are you finding our town?
Let's go with that.
I can't say much for the welcoming committee.
Beg pardon?
I wasn't in your town but 2 minutes when I was accosted by a pair of gutter snipes. They should thank their lucky stars I was in a good mood.
I keep telling Jim to stop with that town greeter malarkey, but that boy's got a head harder than granite. I've been too soft. I ought to throw him in lockup until he gets his head on straight.
Trust me, that'll only make things worse. Besides, I don't think they've yet written a statute outlawing vexatiousness.
You've a forgiving nature, Miss Leger. Anyhow, welcome to Rosewater. If you run into any more trouble, come and see me.
Okay. See what it says.
Looks like a pretty rough sort. This fellow still at large?
Yep, but I reckon he's left the province.
Reminder, confiscated items to be placed in the box below. A plain leather bag. Wonder what's inside. What's in the bag?
Oh, that's a set of lockpicks I confiscated from a would-be burglar.
A lawman with a license? Guess Rosewater isn't so uncivilized after all. Does this license mean you went to sheriff's school?
No, it means I was officially elected to the position by the people of this town. The paper is really just a formality.
I wouldn't have figured the sheriff for a naturalist. Fancy yourself a lepidopterist?
Ha! Hardly. Picked that display up from a passing rag and bone man. But I like when the sun shines on their wings just so. Real thing of beauty.
What a peculiar decoration.
It's not like having a horseshoe above the door is good luck.
Hey, Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am?
why have you got a horseshoe hanging above the door?
Ah, glad you asked. My grandpappy told me a story about a blacksmith who was visited by the devil. The devil asked the smith to make him a horseshoe for his own hoofed feet, you see. So the blacksmith took a red-hot horseshoe and nailed it straight onto one of his hooves.
He'll notice they're missing.
The devil howled out in pain. He begged the blacksmith to take it off again. The smith agreed, but on one condition. The devil must always respect the horseshoe and never enter any place where one is hung above the door. Hell of a story, wouldn't you say?
Okay, so that allows us a degree of interference.
Impressive collection. Hey, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the story?
Now these are standard issue repeaters. Pretty powerful rifles. Thankfully, I've yet to use one in the line of duty. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of these.
Okay, so we have a couple of ways of distracting him. That way's the longest, that way's short. And I suppose it gives us time to pilfer the keys. But we can't do it because he's looking, he'll notice.
Not a bad view. Those are some stern-looking ladies. Hey, Sheriff?
What's on your mind?
Who are the people in this photo?
Those are my sisters, Lord bless them. Irma's a real sweetheart. Don't think I ever met a kinder soul. I hope she's doing well. Mary was always my favorite. The trouble we used to get into when we was kids. Beulah's a real firebrand. She'd smack you across the face soon as look at you. She did to me plenty.
Okay.
Hey, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am?
What's this photo of?
That's a view of Colchester, where I grew up. Sometimes I find myself wondering what life would be like if I'd stayed. It ain't exactly a metropolis, but it's got character. My folks still have a ranch there. Been meaning to pay 'em a visit.
I do like that the
Hey,
game is
Sheriff?
voice acted, like it's all voice acted.
What can I do?
How long have you been a sheriff here?
Just how long have you been the sheriff here anyway?
Oh, a couple years now. Like most everyone else, I came to Rosewater in '48 when we thought the hills were full of Orem. Except I stayed when it turned out they weren't.
You were a prospector?
Yep. But it turns out lawman was a more stable career.
A man in your position must have plenty to say about the town he serves.
Suppose that's true. But a stroll down Main will tell you most everything you need to know.
Anything of interest in the surrounding area?
Not really. The San Bernardo Valley don't offer much in the way of sightseeing. There's an army fort, Fort Beaumont, and an abandoned relic that used to be a laboratory. There's also an Indian village on the other side of the valley, but you'll want to steer clear.
1 second, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Okay.
I've heard tell they can be real territorial.
Well, that's interesting.
But all that's outside my jurisdiction. When you leave my town, you're taking your chances out there.
Thanks for the chat, Sheriff.
Come back anytime.
So we have to be careful. Okay. Lockpicks would be useful. Let's go down the street, though, and see what we can find.
Can't be a good sign when even the blacksmith goes out of business. No shoes for you, horsies. Looks sturdy, but there's some rot creeping around the handles. Soft drink crates. A sugary, fizzy way to beat the heat. Nothing inside but a colony of ants. Shame. I could go for a sarsaparilla. This padlock's not going anywhere. Not without encouragement. The local sawbones. This is where all the sharp knives and strong drugs will be kept.
Oh, hello there. Don't think I've seen you around before.
Just arrived in town. Name's Harley Leger. And you're Dr. Sedgwick?
At your service. Welcome to Rosewater and to my clinic. Anything in particular ailing you today?
I could use something cool to drink. It's hot as blazes, and I am this close to having a conniption.
You'll want to visit the Jack of Diamonds at the end of the thoroughfare. My stock doesn't offer much in the way of refreshment, I'm afraid.
Wouldn't expect to hear a doctor prescribing a visit to the saloon.
A sarsaparilla or weak beer, drunk in moderation, can be a perfectly healthful and thirst-quenching beverage. I'd recommend it over water in any case.
Let's have a quick look around.
Quite a variety of potions and tonics you've got here, Doc.
It's only a small part of the bounteous pharmacopoeia that nature might make available to us, if only we knew her secrets. There is so much to be discovered.
I can see this is going to be one of those games where you can really lose yourself in it. Okay. For the sake of trying to see a little bit more of the story and see what else is going on, let us progress. That's the way we came. And I suspect if we go past there, we go to
This is the place.
We go to the bar. But let's talk to the lady in here and see what happens. Let's go, you almost landed on me.
Hey, what gives? 2 feet over and I'd be flatter than piss on a plate.
I'll go get the seraph.
Okay, easy there. Hey,
Hello again, Miss Leger. Everything all right?
No, it is not. There's a man who needs help outside the Rosewater post.
Lead on, then.
Here he is, poor bastard.
I'll be needing to have some words with Joni. We need the doc. You wait here.
Oh, dear. Hello? Can you hear me? I'm Dr. Sedgwick. I'm here to help you. Can you move your legs? Spine seems intact, no obvious fractures of the arms or legs. That, I would say, is nothing short of a miracle. Right. He's in a bad way, but he'll live. I'll get him back to my clinic and patch him up.
You know, the more I look at him, the more he strikes me as familiar. Isn't this the feller been stirring up troubles at the fort?
I couldn't say. I haven't seen him around before.
Tell you what, send him my way when you're done with him. We got this under control, Miss Leger. You can go about your business.
Glad to hear.
Hello, can I help you with something?
I'm here about the writing commission.
Ah, yes, you must be Miss Leger. I believe you and Joni exchanged some correspondence on the matter already, yes?
Yep, got the letter right here.
May I see it, please? Very good. Oh, one more thing. Joni's not one for formalities. First names will do.
Noted.
Go up those stairs and knock.
Thanks. What's your name?
Henry Dixon, ma'am. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
Interesting. So it runs off the autosave function. But you can manually save the game. Interesting. Okay.
Come in.
Hello, Joan. I'm Harley Leger.
Ah, yes. Nice to finally put a face to the name. Please, take a load off. Whiskey?
Bit early for me, but thanks all the same.
Sensible. I like that. I, however, have had a morning, so if you don't mind. Say, have we met before? Something about you seems familiar.
I don't believe so, no.
Well, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, shall we? If you're going to join our little family here, I'd like to know more about you.
If your life story, provide a succinct biography.
Me? Well, I was born and raised in New Bretagne, got out, made my way west, and started writing. I saw your ad while I was up in Pierre. Thought a change of scenery would do me good.
Well, admittedly, Rosewater isn't as cosmopolitan as it used to be. But maybe you'll find it to your liking.
There hasn't been a dull moment since I stepped off the train.
Speaking of, your writing sample had me in stitches. Haven't spent much time in Lamplight City myself, but your descriptions of the Toffs in Lyon, hilarious.
That piece was inspired by my last visit a few years ago, actually.
Oh? What brought that about?
I'll take care of some family affairs.
I had to go back and settle my late brother's affairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't in connection with that awful business at the Lamplight City Expo.
Oh, no, it was before that.
The Expo disaster was a national tragedy, of course. But you know, I can't help remembering it as the week our paper sold more copies than it has before or since.
Interesting. So this seems to be set in a world similar to ours, but with events and locations that are different.
Isn't that terrible? But enough about that. Let's get back to why we're here. I loved your sample, and I like you as well, Harley. So I'm going to go ahead and offer you a commission. I'll pay you 45 crowns for it. After that, we can talk about more regular opportunities.
Fantastic. Hot damn, well, I'll be.
Fantastic. So, what's my assignment? A scathing commentary on Rosewater's decline? Or maybe a hard-hitting exposé on the plight of the marginalized criminal youth?
Oh, no. Nothing like that. I want you to interview Gentleman Jake Ackerman.
Who?
Pull the other one. You've been living under a rock. He's a true Western legend, the Achilles of our times. We've got a real opportunity here. A star like that landing in our little town. I'd like something in the vein of your sample. Acerbic and mordant. But maybe not quite so acerbic.
So, a puff piece.
Good, you're paying attention. I want you to make Rosewater look good too. Show me a real frontier hero in a real frontier town.
Where can I find this Jake fellow?
He's taking rooms at the Jack of Diamonds just down the road. And his show is opening today at the Opera House, so he should be around for an interview. I don't know how you're situated here, but you're welcome to use the typewriter in the office.
I only write longhand, but I'd certainly be grateful for a quiet place to work.
Longhand, how charming. Now, if you have any questions before you go, by all means, ask.
So, who was the man that went out your window? Not another writer, I hope.
Oh, God, no. You're the only applicant we've had. Don't worry about him. Just a rabble-rouser with an axe to grind. Thought he could burst in here railing about my journalistic integrity. Most folks stick to writing letters to the editor. I tried to calm him down, but... well, it didn't go that way.
I see. The Rosewater Post reported on the Lamplight City Expo?
It was only the biggest story that year. I've still got copies of the article saved. Here, read it for yourself.
Disaster at the Lamplight City Expo. "15 people died. Orpheric researcher Dr. Bennett Clark, known as an orpheric generator, malfunctioned and released a burst of energy into the audience, instantly vaporizing 14 attendees and one stage assistant. Gallery mind close. Game calls for orpheric ban.
Can I keep this?
Frame it if you like.
Interesting. So they seem to be using a different power source to steam power. Though they still have steam engines. Maybe it's something that sort of went out of fashion, or will be interesting to see.
Any insight you can give me about the town?
It's a far cry from what it used to be. In a way, it's nice not having to hear the noise from the saloon at all hours, but... oh, I don't know. Folk who moved on took some of the charm with them.
What about the folks who stayed behind?
What about him?
They must be pretty stalwart to stick around when others didn't.
Or stubborn. Go on and meet him for yourself. Best draw your own conclusions.
I'm curious, how did the Rosewater Post get its start?
Well, my dad was a union man. He worked the printing press for the Allied Fall Creek Miners Cooperative. Pamphlets, labour news, that sort of thing. Then the mine owners brought the Blackburns in to bust the whole operation up. My dad was laid up for months and could never work again after. But we still had to eat, didn't we? I took all the equipment from the old shop and started printing up an early version of the Post just to bring a little money in. At first, it was all just community notices and advertisements from local stores. Over time, I got the hang of the whole journalism thing and turned it into a real newspaper.
Yeah, there's no point asking if it's kind of right about something else, because obviously we're getting commissions, so we can't. You get paid for doing what you do.
I'd best be on my way.
Right you are. Wait a minute.
What?
It's just come to me. I know why you look familiar. You're Spitfire Harley.
Goodness. It's been a long time since anyone called me that.
I saw you fighting back in 26 at Wellesley Hall in the Chum. You took out a brute twice your size with a right hook. Pow! It was like watching David bring down Goliath.
I appreciate the kind words, but that was another life.
Maybe so. But for a 14-year-old kid fresh off the boat, it was pretty damn inspirational.
Thanks, Joan. Appreciate it.
Of course. And please call me Joni.
Interesting. So our character has her own history. I suspect that we're slightly older to her than if she saw us fighting, bare knuckle fighting it when he was 14. And I was like, interesting. "15 years since I was boxed under that moniker back in Chum." So what we're like in our early 30s, mid to early 30s then? Interesting. I mean, this is the thing with one of these point and click adventure games. You spend a lot of time clicking on things.
That's quite a stick.
A memento from my grandfather back in County Donegal. Comes in handy now and again.
Interesting. So obviously they do have, like, Donegal. Is it Donegal? Like, obviously they have similarities to our world.
Is this the first edition of the Rosewater Post?
Yep, March 30th, 1845. One of the best days of my life.
So it seems to be Earth, but on a different, like a different, like sort of slightly altered version of it.
The New Bretagne Gazette. Keeping tabs on the competition?
Hardly. I kept that issue because they mentioned my paper.
You support Leroy?
I'm a proud Labourite, sure. I'll admit he hasn't been my favourite PM. But the way things were going with Atwood and the Traidists, this place would have been swallowed up by an automated newspaper conglomerate. Labour Party gets me vote any day of the week.
Fair enough.
Interesting. So it does seem
Nice
to be an
typewriter.
altered. Seems to be like an altered timeline.
The first. Good old Sheldon Model 4.
Hey, that's Devil's Tooth. I passed it on the train right here.
Quite a sight, isn't it?
Fascinating device.
Isn't it just? To think, I can send messages from here to Bright Bay with the press of a lever.
What will they think of next? See you later, Joni.
Take care of yourself out there. Spitfire Harley, writing for my paper. Now don't that just beat all?
I do like the atmosphere of this game. Like the atmosphere it bleeds into it, like the world setting and just the stage. I don't play a lot of click and point adventure games, to be honest. But like this is an interesting game. I am not going to lie.
Was your meeting satisfactory, ma'am?
Quite so. Did you find any of those butterscotch sweets I asked for?
Afraid not. Only taffy and some peppermints.
Pity. This place seems to lack even the smallest of pleasures. Shall we?
Interesting. I'd check out the saloon and see what is going on here.
Warning! Watch the dang door. Signed, Management. These seem to be for decoration more than anything else. The local populace getting sloshed. The local Excuse me, kid, I need to get...
I'm really sorry, miss, but Mr. Ackerman's not taking any more meetings right now.
I'm here on behalf of the Rosewater Post.
Did you make an appointment?
No, I just got the assignment.
Okay, look, Mr. Ackerman's upstairs getting ready for his show. It starts in less than an hour. Why don't you come by and watch? You can come meet him afterwards.
I just need to interview him for a newspaper article.
Well, now, that's perfect. If you're going to write about him, you should definitely see the show. Trust me, he's a real dazzler.
Suppose it beats waiting around here.
Interesting.
Wonder if the whiskey here is any better than the ragtag back in Pierre. Looks like it's been up for ages. Wonder if they ever caught the guy. Or maybe he retired from crime. Or died of old age. betrayal, murder, revenge. Classic stuff. Never works out that way in real life.
1828.
Dr. Bennett Clark, Master of Ethericity. Oh, right, the Ethericity fellow. I didn't know he was working out here.
And that's the guy that had the problem with the explosion in the expo. Interesting. But what's this?
This place is falling apart, but these stone tiles were nice. Once.
Pick up a stone tile.
You again?
Oh, hey, Harmony, was it?
Harley. What in the ether are you doing here?
Oh, you're not still sore about earlier.
No, I think I taught your friend a lesson.
Nah, but your little friend might think twice about hoodwinking strangers again.
Look, nothing personal. My brother and me are just doing our best to get by.
Just walked away from when your brother got caught.
Your brother? And you just strolled away? I ought to knock you into a cocked hat.
Anyone ever tell you got a real mean streak, lady?
You picked the wrong mark, but I can let that go. Hell, with a little effort, you two could be halfway decent grifters. But if there's one thing turns my stomach, it's disloyalty. That's your flesh and blood. If you don't have your own brothers back, who else on this wretched earth is going to give a flip if you're alive or dead?
You made your point. Now, can we drop it already? I'm trying to do an actual legitimate job here.
Legitimate job? So you're not selling snake oil or stock tips or fire insurance?
Nah, nothing like that. I'm selling tickets to Gentleman Jake's legendary Wild West show. Only 20 coppers.
I'll take one of those tickets.
Swell! And when would you like to come see the show?
Whenever it starts?
Oh, you mean today? Ah, well, I'm afraid I gotta disappoint you there. Sold the last of today's tickets not 10 minutes before you walked up.
Seriously?
Seriously. This ain't exactly the Coliseum. It only fits so many. And folks around here are real excited to see Gentleman Jake in person.
All right, look. I don't need to see some yahoo firing off his pea shooter. I just want to talk to this Jake fellow.
And I'm sure Gentleman Jake would be happy to meet you if you had a ticket to get in. Course, I might be able to sneak you in quiet-like, but I'd be putting my job on the line. And I can't afford to lose it now. After all, I have my little brother to look after.
Just tell me what you want.
Only a small favor.
Spit it out.
Just help me retrieve something. A small item of great personal value. It's only my pa's pocket watch. Family heirloom, you see.
What happened to it?
It was stolen is what? By that one-eyed scalawag Lola Johnson. Probably stashed it away in the old smithy. She's been squatting in there for weeks now.
What about 2 crowns and we forget all this further nonsense? Where is your brother now? This sounds like a matter for the law. If I do it, I'll do it, but only to get in. I'm not doing you any favours, let me know else. The let's go, the blacksmith shop is locked up.
Blacksmith's got a giant padlock on the door.
So?
So I'm not breaking into private property?
I told you the place is abandoned. Lola's squatting in there. Besides, it's not really breaking in if you're retrieving something stolen. Sheriff Gamble won't trouble himself over it, trust me. And if you run into Lola, I'm sure someone like you can handle her.
Offer bribe. What about 2 crowns and we get all of this favour nonsense?
You said you and your brother needed money. How about 2 crowns?
Well, now, that's mighty kind of you. But this don't change the deal.
Why, you little bastard.
You want in, you gotta do me that favor.
I'll do it.
You can go hang for all I care. But I want in this theater. So I'll do it.
Swell. You know where to find me.
Interesting. So we lost money and we're still having to do it for him. Blinking cutthroat. But hey ho, that's how it goes. This has been Rosewater, folks. It's an interesting little game. The thing with point-and-click adventure games, though, if you're doing a series on them, there's a lot of talking, a lot of like exploring and adventuring, so it doesn't make the most entertaining gameplay. But if you're interested in seeing this on the channel, let me know. I like it. I might play it on my downtime, especially since it's supposed to be such a branching and explorative game from the developers have been telling me. We'll see what happens next time, folks. Goodbye.